Okay. Okay. So let's get started with this next topic. In previous session, we discussed regarding generative AI. We illustrated more about our tool where we had model which is based upon training. In today's session, we will discuss more about creating our model, how we can generate text, how we can get output through our model. If you can see, this is generative AI can already do a lot. It's able to produce text and images, spanning blog spots, post, program code, poetry, and artwork. It doesn't do work for of prediction. It's a why it's a different from predictive AI. It is creative but not predictive in nature. So here is the total expenditure, like all the application of this generative AI. So, basic terms, if you talk about basic terms in generative AI, before dive right into the code, we just also discussed regarding basic terms. We talk about tokens, we talk about prompt engineering, we talk about chat completion API, and this is all relevant terms to our generative AI models. Here, if you talk about tokens, this is more focused on price, cost. Your model is going to cost for this. So LLM don't interpret natural language that we speak. Natural language is converted into an array of numerical values called as tokens. As far as this prompt engineering is concerned, we have these instructions that you provide. You write your own question, you write your own query. Sometimes it is called prompt. So however, this is not fixed that what kind of question we may ask with this chat gpt and generative AI will process here, but this is fixed. It is an art of itself and include important concepts like few short prompting, contextual prompting, output structure, and so on. Later on, chat completion API is there, SDK exposed to let you interact with your chat GPT engine in a chat-like manner by making API calls. So, what we are going to discuss now? We are going to discuss generative AI SDK API. Then we will discuss Azure Foundry and Azure OpenAI. We will also discuss SDK for creating model and ask question from our custom data set. This is the agenda of today's session. As far as if you talk
So
about
Sachin,
us,
these are Azure OpenAI and currently OpenAI for the Chat GPT. Both are same or different one?
uh, can you say it again?
This Azure OpenAI and currently Chat GPT based OpenAI both are different or same?
Actually, we are using OpenAI under the umbrella of Azure portal. That's why it's called
Okay.
Azure OpenAI. For example, Databricks
Okay,
itself an
okay, okay.
independent body. But
Okay,
when we
okay, okay.
use Databricks inside it is called Azure Databricks collectively.
All right. All right. Got it.
Moreover,
Got it.
you can expand this OpenAI very independent manner, but we are using keys, points, structure, and everything, and we will be using our telecom underscore telecom underscore churn underscore data set. This is same data set we are using from very first time, from very first session. Any question?
No, Sachin.
So if I explore my GitHub profile, my CSV file, if I scroll down here, I'll find telco customer churn. If you check this raw data set, this is consisting of our different fields. If I download, if I go back here and download raw file, if I open this raw file, can you see on very extreme right, I do have these question and answer columns. So I can bother about these two columns. Can you see? I'm going to utilize these two questions to ask query through OpenAI and through generative AI. Any custom question I may ask through my prompt engineering. This is the agenda of today's session. Here we have question, here we have answer. You just keep in mind we are going to focus on these two columns only, not rest of these. Before this we have churn, total charges, streaming, telecom, and everything is there. We are not talking about all these columns. We have already performed so many pre-processing over these two, over these rest of the columns, but we are gonna illustrate more about these two columns only in today's session. This is NLP related data or text data. Okay, so meanwhile my cluster is running, I'll have to create a new notebook. If I go back here, I'm going to name it a RAG model using generative AI. This would be part 3. Okay, so once my cluster is ready, I have already started my cluster. We will be using our Azure AI Foundry. We will be using our, when we go here, we will be using our Azure Open AI. If you check these two terms, these two services, here we have Azure API, OpenAI, here we have Azure AI Foundry. I'll come back to these two services one by one. If I search for Azure Open AI, you will find this service. This is widely used. If I expand, you can see so many instances are already there. Computer vision, computer face API, documentation. So I'm going to use this Azure Open AI only for this particular task. I'm also using this Azure AI Foundry for this creation part. So we will come back here. Already if you check this catalog here, you will find so many this one inbuilt models are already there. We have GPT, we have Codex Mini, and we have a Mistral, and Me's designed by Microsoft, designed by DeepSeek, designed by Meta, and other third parties are also involved. For example, if I focus on Meta related model, so it will filter out all these Meta Llama, Llama 4, Llama 3.8 million. If I ask for GPT related model, I'll get that filter. Can you see GPT 4.0, 4.1, 35 turbo? Goro. So any of these model you can build, you can create on top of it. So before dive right into the coding part, I'm going to install OpenAI SDK in our Python kernel. So if you look at this code will be there, and I'm going to use this code here. So what I'll be using, I'll using pip install OpenAI. This is current version of OpenAI. If you find that this is the outdated version, this is not the updated one, you can change the version. But I'm going to install this specific version here for my OpenAI model. Here you can this you can ignore this warning, and you will have to restart your Python code. But before this, I'm going to restart my Python notebook. I'm going to install Databricks Vector Search SDK. This is another SDK which I'm going to use for Databricks Vector Search, which will convert my code, my data set into vector format. I'll be using this library for my vector format in order to convert into vector format.
So, Sachin,
Yes.
so we have to be use Databricks vector search, or maybe we have the number of other party vector search. We can go through that.
No, because we are using Databricks platform, so I'm going to use
Okay,
Databricks. There might be alternate available. There might be alternate library if you are using Collab or some Google Collab or something. So you can use that. But I'm going to use
okay,
this Databricks library
okay. Got it.
because it's showing green signal that you will have to restart your kernel. So I'm going to restart my kernel here, restarting our Python kernel. So I'm going to use this code dbutils library and restart my Python. Now, what's the next step? Next step is Gen AI with Azure Databricks developing RAG system. We are going to develop that system using our RAG. But before this, we know we need to install, we need to um, load our CSV file into Databricks file system. How would I do that? If you know that this file is located on my GitHub profile. If I go back here in raw section, I'll find this link. On top of this is URL for my raw file, which is consisting of uh, telco customer churn. So I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it here and just going to locate here and going to remove existing file. So I'm going to remove this existing data file if it is there, and with this location I'm going to remove. If it is already there, it will remove, and then going to make this directory with dbfn the rag lab. So I'm going to make this file here. Later on, with this vg widget, with this widget, with the same location which I created here, with this in the same directory, dbfs, rglab, and customer fake.csv. I'm going to create this library. So from where it will fetch? From the above source. I'm going to copy link here and paste it here only. And let's run. So what it will do? It will map all my data from GitHub to local DBFS system, local Databricks file system. So if I go back here, how to check this one? Click on your catalog, move here, search for the same path dbfs raglev, browse dbfs. Can you see this one? Can you see this RAG lab is there, and this customer fake dot CSV is just here. Is it connecting? Okay, just wait. They can you send again? So what we have done as of now, we just created our Gen AI ADK for developing dark system. We have loaded our CSV through our GitHub profile. Here we have GitHub profile link. If I go back, you will find this system is there. You can upload your file there, and you can check this raw link, and then you can paste here at this position. This one is entirely entire URL. And as far as this widget is concerned, this widget is used to map a CSV file through GitHub to local Databricks file system. Now, once we have uploaded or we have tracked this file, so I'm going to load the CSV file into data frame. So how would I do that? I'm going to use PySpark code through this PySpark SQL function, importing all libraries, and going to use my Spark read to load function. What is the address? This folder is RAG lab. Inside this RAG lab, customer fake.csv available, and this format CSV is there. I'm going to print schema finally. Let's run this CSV which we imported from data frame. If you do not want to write this code manually, this path manually, just go to your catalog explorer, click your browse dbfs option. On left pane you will find this drag lab. Inside this you have mounted your customer fake.csv. The same code you will find. All right, we are good to go. We have imported our data set here successfully. If you will scroll route right, you will find your question and answer, which we are going to process through API and RAG system. If you check this data type, here we have all the data type string and everything is string format, because we just simply imported through CSV. We didn't provide any schema type, so this is not showing respective schema. Do we have any question till now?
No, Sachin. That's fine.
Okay. As we have already discussed that we want to move ahead with question and answer column, only these two columns required. The rest of columns needs to be pruned, needs to be churned out. So I'm going to skip all the columns here. For this, we need to keep question and answer columns only, remove other columns. So I'm going to use my PySpark code. For this, we have selected only the required column, question and answer, will overwrite my data frame here. Then going to display first 10 rows in order to check whether these two columns are written or remaining in this data frame or not. Finally, going to print my schema. Can you see we have cut off rest of the fields, rest of the columns, remaining two columns are there. We will ask question, for example, what is the Lynch foundation? It will give this a response related to this answer. We will ask how much has Peter, so it will give this answer. So this is kind of supervision, you can say supervised learning, or kind of training, you would say. So out of this tree, it's going to provide that answer. Now, let's create an Azure OpenAI client. How to do that? If I write this code, which is using Azure OpenAI, and through this JSON, I'm going to use my endpoints. But how you are going to use this endpoint? I'm going to use Azure AI Foundry and Azure OpenAI. So, how would I use this? Go to my Azure portal here, go to home, search for Azure Open AI. In this AI, you will have to create a new model. So I'm going to create my resource group. This is existing resource group. I'm going to select East US 2. Going to name it some, let's say, DevOps August 06 2025 9 p.m. And then pressing tier is only available is this one. Let's remove these underscore, maybe that's not required either. Okay, that's fine, we are good to go. Click on next. Click on next. We are going to skip all these terms here. We are gonna create our OpenAI resource. So we are good to go with, we have successfully created our Azure OpenAI instance. We can go ahead with this one, and on left hand side you will find this key and endpoints. So I'm going to use these keys and points. This is key and endpoints. Here you will find two things. First one is a key one. Second is the endpoint. So what I'll do, I'll be using my key here. So I'm going to copy this key, going back to my code, and going to replace this open key with my new instance key. That's it. You don't have to share these keys because these are like personal identity or very secret things. So I'm gonna delete all these Azure AI, OpenAI instances. So I'm not worried about these. But this is advisable or very essential that you are gonna delete or not going to display these keys anyhow. I'm going to run this cell because I have already taken these credentials from Azure AI Foundry and OpenAI. And this is open key and this is API version, and we can go ahead with this. Can you see? We have provided a credential to OpenAI. Make sure you are giving correct credential, otherwise rest of the code will not run successfully. You will find error, it will throw an error there. Any question till here while creating this Azure European AI? Now,
No, Sachin.
now, uh, if we are good to go, then we can save our updated new data frame into ADLSS Parquet storage. And but before this, we need to check. We need to check which catalog we are going to use. So if you are going here, you can see Metastore is already there. Metastore is there and July is there and all. Then you can see this catalog is also available, and this catalog July is also available. DevOps DLT July is also available. All right, but still it's not decide that which catalog we are going to use. So we are decision maker for this one. So what for this, what would I do? I'll show my catalog first. How many catalogs do we have currently in this workspace associated with this workspace? Here and check this code that we have available catalog in this list. So you can use any of these catalog. It's your choice. It's your cup of tea. I want to use this one, catalog July 22. So what I use, I'm going to name it catalog July 22. I'm going to write this code. Use catalog July 2. Okay. Now, under this catalog, if you go back here, so what's this catalog July 22? If you will expand this catalog July 22, so many schema or database, schema database are synonyms to each other inside Databricks, and I'm going to expand this catalog. So this is default, DevOps, these two database available in my catalog July 22. So I'm going to show databases under the umbrella of this catalog July 22. Can you see these databases are available in my catalog? If I go back here, can you see this is showing information, this is showing everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. All four schemas are representing here. I want to use this one, such in DLT July. So I'm going to use this database, or let's use this DevOps DLT July. So I'm going to use or let's say use default. It's your choice. Any database you can use. Now I'm going to save the updated data frame as a Parquet file in my folder, and this would be the customer and this would be the save as table. Now, what's this such an DLT? If you go up, you can see this is catalog. If I go here inside this catalog, we have this one. So this is our schema, but we are not using this schema. We are using schema default. So I'll have to replace this default. Under this default, this that t is fake, or this table will be created here. You can name it any of this table. I'm going to overwrite here. So what's the address here? It's we are using catalog July 22 and then default. So this is catalog July 22. Inside this we have default, and can you see we have diptych fake tables here? Okay. Let's say we have this one. Okay, information default. Do we have DevOps? Oh, in this also. So I'm going to use this DevOps DLT July. Let's see. Sorry. Yes, I'm going to use this catalog because in other catalog the table is already there. It will throw an error. So I'm going to show databases. Inside we have this default. So I'm going to use this default database. Inside this, I'm going to use this diptych fake table. So what's hierarchy now? Under DevOps DLT July, we have default, and now we have diptychs fake table, which we created right now. Is it connecting? Now I'm going to enable. I'm going to enabling enabling change data feed on our table. So what I'll do, I'll enable a data change here and make sure I'm going to use this correct catalog here. So what's the catalog name here? This catalog name is DevOps DLT July. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to replace this one. And what's the schema name I'm going to use here? This is default. Okay, and rest is same. So I'm going to run this same. And you see this is enabled change data feed for existing delta table. Now I'm going to develop the cluster manager, which is a RAG related, or going to develop my vector data set. I accept this is very complex code, but I'll try to convert into easier one. So this is vector search, which we are going to convert our data set. I'm going to use this Sachin or this vector name endpoint standard. I'm going to keep this name same here. Going to keep my source table. So what's the source table here? This is my source table. Okay. So I'm going to replace my source table here. You need to replace your catalog, your schema, and your table name. And going to replace my credential here as well. If you check this one, first one is my catalog, second one is my schema, third one is my table name, and finally it will create this index column which will be converted one. So I'm going to use my converted table. This would be index table which we fed or which we ingest to our model. What we have done, we have using this primary key, which is our question column, we are going to embed our answer, which is answer column. If you are using any other database, you need to check whether have you changed these column name, question and answer. These are column names. My first column is having a header as a question, second column or field is having header as a answer. You need to change these two columns. Once these two columns are changed, you can run this cell and it will take some time. Do we have any question, any query meanwhile? This is just not running. If you go back here If you refresh this part, you will find this July DevOps, and this is indexing. Can you see? This is provisioning my endpoint. This is creating an in running condition at all. It will take, it is creating endpoints, will take around 10 to 15 minutes. We are open to discuss any question. Meanwhile, do we have any question, any query?
No, Sachin, not for now. Actually, whatever you are guiding, so accordingly we are able to understand. But
Hmm.
whenever we try from ourselves, so at that moment, possibly we can get any issues. Accordingly, we can ask.
Hmm. So, are you doing any homework or kind of self learning?
No, 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 Sachin. Actually, whatever you are guiding me, so accordingly, I am trying to at my laptop. And apart from that, I already done my MTech from the machine learning AI only.
Hmm.
So I understood the particular, theory part, but in terms of the practicality and coding, I need to be practice more on that way.
Okay, so did they discuss this Gen AI, NLP, and everything?
No, no, no. Actually, and if regarding the NLP course, I bought your course as well. So I'm trying to learn that one.
Hmm. So that was not part of your MTech and something.
No, no. Theoretically, it was available, but practically, how can we implement and what are the libraries are available, and in what condition we have to use particular algo or related library. So that part I have missed. Actually, that was I'm talking about that is year of 2012 actually. So that is at that moment we don't have too much scope. All those things were theoretically available, and whatever the algorithm in terms of the mathematical expression, only that things that we have did at that time.
Okay. Meanwhile, this is gonna create our provisioning endpoints and everything. I'm going to write the rest of the codes because this rest of code will be Control A, Control C. If you will write this code, you can ask any question. I just put my any sample question here. This is my query. I'm asking to my model, and then using this restrict similarity search and all, it will give answer of that. I'm waiting to generate this provisioning endpoint and waiting for initialization. Then I'm going to Azure portal, Azure Foundry, developing the generation component of RAG architecture, and I can use this one. For this model name, what exactly I need to go? I need to go to my Azure AI Foundry. So go back here, search for Azure AI Foundry. On left top, you will find AI Foundry, AI Hub. So search for hubs, create this instance. Just wait a minute. Okay, so I'm back with this resource group. I'm going to select East US2, name uh, DevOps, Azure AI Hub, and then I'm going to create. Let's create it. Still, it's provisioning my endpoints. Okay, so I already have created Azure AI Foundry, this AI service. Can you see when I go inside AI Foundry portal, I'll find this metal model catalog. Can you see? This is already consisting so many models. Let's say GPT 4.1 Nano. So I'm going to select this model, going to use this model, going to name it, let's say DevOps HR, copy this development name, let's deploy. So once it is deployed, you can come back to your code and replace with this model name. Just copy that model name and replace here. And you can ask one more question here as well. Okay, can you see? It's converting all my 10,000 rows in 3,000 in vector format, and I can display that index format as well. Once it is converted, it will take only 3 minutes around. Only 3 minutes remaining. Here, you can see this model is consisting of name, provisioning endpoint. You can run this code as well. You can run this code. You can run basic model sample here. You can ask your query. I'm going to going Paris. What should I do? So this will give respective response. I'm going to change this prompt engineering. So I'm going to change this role and all. So I can stream out basic response as well.
Okay, all right. Indexing takes too much time at here.
Yes. So or we have around 10,000 rows now. So it's converting
Oh,
all rows
okay,
into
okay,
one. So
okay.
now it's completed. Once it is completed, we can go ahead with this next part of code. Yes, we can ask this question. How Peter did this? Can you see? It's giving that answer. This is our response. If I go up little bit and ask another question, for example, how much stock did Peter Lynch hold in this one? So I can replace this question and will get respective answer. Can you see? It's a respective response. So I go up little bit and can check my responses uh, here somewhere text. Can you see? Leacher, this one. What was the question here? Which question we asked there? We asked Magellan Fund. So this is second question. I expand this response and copy this response here. Going down, will hit enter and will replace this. Can you see
Yes, yes.
this response? And if you check this response would be near about same.
Okay.
Might be accuracy might be incorrect, but there might be some similarity. Now, when I go down, I can run this model which we have created in our Azure AI Foundry. We can run this model. It will take some time because it's showing if you created the model within last 5 minutes, please wait a moment and try again. So I'll wait a moment and we'll try again. I can write another code, rest of the code here. A control C. This is my RAG model. Entire model is there where we have created a class for my RAG model. This is vector index which we are using in upper syntax. This is a retrieval model where we have similarity search for our both question. Make sure you are converting your column names here, question and answers. And then I'm going to replace my Azure endpoint for my chat competition API. So if I go up little bit, I found this is my endpoints. I'm going to copy these two lines, cut C, go down, just hit enter with this endpoint. Control X, going to replace my endpoint here. With this key, I'm going to copy this key here and going to replace here and allow me to to remove these two lines and let's run this RAG model. Okay, and again we have this model name and all, and this would be our model name which we created here. Check. We created GPT model nano, so here also we will be using this model name. Is that correcting?
Yes, Sachin.
Okay. So far what we have discussed, we have created our endpoints, we have created our index column, we have created how many stocks did Peter and ask some questions, it's giving respective and response. Although query is not good, but means accuracy is not good, but we are getting response at least. Then later on, we created our Azure AI Foundry. With this Foundry, we created this instance and created one model here, which is existing one. So it's your choice. You can check GPT 4.0, GPT 4.3 and all, and you can see here. And then before this, we use our OpenAI in order to use keys and point. So I'm going to use this keys and endpoint for our code itself. So this is what we have done. We have imported our database from GitHub as well. We have task perform this task using this generative AI. We will continue this code tomorrow. Whatever code we are writing that must match our final endpoint as well. We will be creating that this one here. We will be creating our serving one model, checking our model experiment on all. Is that
Okay.
connecting?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Keep learning, keep growing.